Welcome to the Backpacking Podcast, brought to you by Outdoor Vitals, makers of Performance First Ultralight Gear. As always, John Kelly here, along with Jeremiah Stringer, the king of Kentucky backpacking. We are ready to get into some serious conversations today, but Jeremiah, there's a little something going on over at Outdoor Vitals we need to let people know about. Am I right?
Oh, we're looking to save money today. They got a sale right now. It's the Skyline Fast Pack, and it is a 30-liter pack. More of a day packing, in my opinion, but, you know, if you're a true ultralighter, you might want to take this thing out on an overnight. It's got kind of like webbed or very wide straps, and they're super comfortable. It comes with the collapsible bottles. So if you're watching online or YouTube or Spotify, John's kind of showing some product photos. You don't have to pay extra for those collapsible bottles. Great for running if you're doing 5Ks through the woods, or maybe even a marathon. We might talk more about that later, but super awesome pack. Lots of storage, mesh on the back so you can stick even more stuff in there over the 30 liters. I think you've tried it on or taken it out as well. I took a watermelon with me last time I had it.
I didn't take any watermelons with me, but I have used it as it's a fantastic day pack. If you are a runner, man, this is a great pack. If you're a trail runner, this is awesome because of the way it fits. It really holds snug to your body. And right now, the deal on these is fantastic. They're normally $179.97. They're on sale for $152.97. And if you are a Live Ultralight member, you also get the price of $137.67. So it's even cheaper. You're saving literally over $40 if you have the Live Ultralight membership. So definitely check that out over at OutdoorVitals.com. We love these guys. They've been fantastic sponsors of the show. Jeremiah, it is March Madness. It is upon us. The first games were last night.
I promise you, to the people listening, if you know I'm a big-time UK fan, I'm not going to bore you with my analytics and my predictions, but we're going to have a little fun on the show today with what I would call a bracket challenge. So I'll kind of set it up here for you, John. I was thinking it'd be fun to incorporate somehow March Madness into this show, and I thought maybe a little segment we could try out and just see how it works. Would be a bracket challenge. So I come through all kinds of different ideas and categories. I thought, man, for backpacking, you need the big three, of course.
Yep.
So I done those. And then you have kind of like accessories. I put chairs, and I just made a bunch of brackets for us to look over and choose from. And our goal here is to today decide the best hiking or backpacking shoe. And we have a bracket already prepared, and we're going to ask for your participation in it. Just a heads up, I did get some artificial intelligence assistance with this. So if there's spelling errors, that's on me. I typed it. But it selected the seeds. So don't pay. It's 1 through 8 for those listening. On our seeding, we have at number 1, Solomon. At number 2, Merrill. At number 3, La Sportiva. 4 is Topo. 5 is Hoka. 6 is Ultra. 7 is Scarpa. And 8 would be Brooks. So again, ChatGPT, it decided the order of the seeds. So I wouldn't necessarily say Solomon was my number 1. I'd probably go with Hoka or maybe Ultra or Merrill.
Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. This is the plan. We want you, if you were watching right now, we want you to vote. If you are listening right now, we want you just to leave a comment, and we will provide the first round winners next week. And if you guys like doing these polls, we can do more of them. But we want to see who wins the first round. And the next week, during the live stream, we'll be taking a live vote to see who wins the second round, third round, and then becomes the ultimate shoe champion of March Backpacking Madness. And Jeremiah has made so many more of these. Like I think he made like 8 of them. So we have more. And if you guys like this and want to keep them going, we can keep them going. We can figure out what the best backpack is, the best tent, the best hammock, the best sleeping bag, the best quilt, the best sleeping pad, you name it. We can have this done. So, oh man, you just got called out, Jeremiah. Suga Canadensis. Man, I hope I didn't destroy that name. Just because Stringer is tall, he thinks he knows basketball. He's more like a skinny squatch.
Okay, well, whenever you want to hoop, you just meet me on the court, baby, and I will be there. I say that, and Tuga's probably like 7'2", 295 pounds. Just gonna dominate, dunk on my head.
I think you're probably right. Oh, Devin's on here right now. He goes, let me know when basketball talk is over. And then he just told us he loves us, which of course we
Oh,
love Devin. We love Devin. He's great. Jacob Poucher's on. What's going on? Sean R. Hello, Sean. How are you, buddy? And then also James Hooper has put in the first vote, and it is for Topo. So
Topo. Now, didn't you use Topo and you got sand in your shoes?
no, those were Sauconys.
Oh,
The
sorry.
Sauconys were the sands in the shoes. Topos were the ones that I messed my foot up on because I couldn't get them tight enough around the middle of my foot. And when I was hiking, where was I heading to? It was a waterfall, Copper's Falls in the Red River Gorge. I hit a rock, my foot went sideways, my shoe stopped, but my foot didn't because I couldn't get the shoe tight enough, and pulled a couple ligaments in my foot. So let's just say that I'm not wearing Topos right now, but that's okay that other people like them. Here's another brand I'm not crazy about, but I know you like them. We've got to vote for Ultras.
Yeah, I'm going to be wearing them this weekend, the Ultras. More on that later, but
I'm definitely a Hoka guy at this point in my life. If I'm voting, I'm voting Hoka.
Bro, I want to be honest with you. Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, he turned me on to Hokas a few years ago, and I said, let me try them out. So I tried the Hoka Speed Go, loved it, super thick sole, and I said, I wouldn't mind having a pair of these for work. I noticed, like, if I go to the doctor or something, a lot of the nurses were wearing them. And I'm like, they're on concrete all day, right? Just like me, I'm a high school teacher, so I'm walking around on this concrete floor all day. And for 3 years in a row, I have bought basically the same pair of Hokas, literally every single school year going into the year. And they would all be the same color if they weren't sold out last year, but had one pair of grays and two pairs of black, and I think we're going to make it a 4 year in a row Hoka.
Oh, wow. That's impressive, man. Nice.
Yeah, the Ultras. I did get a pair of Ultras on sale. I think I've already said on here when we were doing the Georgia part of the AT, we were out there and we come across, is it Mountain Crossing store? Something like that at Nils Gap. And that guy sold me on a pair of Ultras, and I said, all right, I guess I'm headed back over to the dark side.
Nice. Now, have you seen these new ones that are out there on Garage Grown Gear? And they're made out of Dyneema, and they're like $300.
Oh, you're making this up, bro.
Now, I'm going to look them up right now. I'll put them on the screen because I was shocked. I was like, I've never seen a pair of shoes that's way overpriced like that. And the only reason I say they're overpriced is because of the fact that they're 14 ounces. That's almost a pound. I thought they were Dyneema. So I'm going to pull these up on here right now. They're I want to double check and make sure these are the ones I think they are. Yeah, they're made with they're made with Dyneema. Okay, here we go. These are let me pull these up on the screen if you're listening. Also, if you're just now getting on here and missed the first part of this, we are doing a March Madness for hiking shoes, trail runners basically. And we'll bring the bracket up here in just a second again if you'd like to vote for that. But check this out. These are 001 men's trail running shoes by Norda. Okay, these are the shoes here. Okay, they just look like trail runners, right? I mean, they look nice. I mean, they got a wide toe box, it looks like. Everything about them looks great. That tread's not too bad. But Jeremiah, I'm going to show you something here. Are you seeing this right now?
$285.
$285. Do you want to see why they're $285?
I would love to.
That's because I'm going to read this to you. Features. Uppers are seamlessly woven with bio-based Dyneema for high performance, abrasion resistance, and durability.
You said they're 14 ounces?
When I looked at the actually 18.9 ounces per pair.
18.9 ounces. Okay. Well, let me just give you a little comparison here. You can
Okay.
buy the Ultra Lone Peak nines, and the weight on those 1 pound, 6.4 ounces. So that's 22.4. So you're saving 4 ounces. So 2 ounces per shoe for an extra, well, double the price.
Yeah. I mean,
I I love garage grown gear, and I know they support a lot of awesome cottage vendors, and I'm all for that. But I can't swing $300 for a shoe I'm just going to destroy in a season, and I do.
exactly. Exactly. Well, I guess they're trying to claim that the Dyneema makes them more abrasion resistant, but I'm gonna have to see someone who does a lot of hiking wear those first
Yeah,
and see how abrasion resistant they are, because I'm not willing to take a $285 gamble on a pair of backpacking shoes.
yeah, dude. You remember I bought a brand new pair of Ultras before I did the long trail, and whenever I got done with that, and that was not even that long of a trail. I know, it takes a month, but compared to a through hike, you're going through multiple shoes. That's a few hundred miles, and they were beat up beyond belief, like unwearable. Like I had them duct taped together by the end of it.
Yeah.
So I can't afford to spend, $1,500 on shoes if I'm, if you want to do the AT or something.
Well, and you already know this because we've talked about this before, but not everybody can do zero drop either. So ultras aren't for everybody. Ultra, their big thing is that they're zero drop. And zero drop actually messed up my right Achilles tendon bad. I've had Achilles issues ever since I used I guess they were Ultra Lone Peaks years
Hmm.
ago. And I hiked about 400 or 500 miles on a pair of ultras. 400 miles, I think it was 400 miles on a pair of ultras. And yeah, my I still have issues to this day with my right Achilles. So
Well, it
didn't have
messed you
problems
up.
before that. Yeah, it messed me up pretty good. So
You
here's a
you
good
want
one. Now, the Pizza Ninja's on here, and he said he'd sell us shoes made of ultralight pizza boxes at a little bit better price.
to yeah, then he can reinvest that money into pizza and make more shoes out of the boxes. It's a
There we
genius plan.
go. It's definitely ingenious. Sterling Slingerland. This is a new one. I've not seen this person on here before. How you doing, Sterling? It says Brooks and Hoka for me, but I haven't tried Topo. I don't like zero drop as I trip too much, as zero drop equals 4-foot strike as opposed to heel striking. Huh. That's
Mm.
interesting. Look at that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not one of those people. And then Loafer X says Columbia as the Cinderella story if the shoe fits.
Oh,
Interesting take there.
Columbia. You know, I bought a pair of Columbias. I think when I first started backpacking, or maybe I bought them for my wife. I can't remember. All I remember, I was like, "Bro, these things are heavier than a boot." What I can't even remember what specific Columbia model it was. See, this was years ago, but that kind of ruined me on their trail runners. Now I do have some big Columbia boots though. I bought a size 16 so I could double sock and,
Oh
do super
wow.
insulated. I bought them because I was heading up to do New Hampshire right around this time of the year actually, and they still had a lot of snow. So I said I need something insulated and big.
Very cool. Oh, get this. So this is interesting. Sterling is actually from New Zealand.
Oh, New Zealand.
Greetings. Greetings. Glad to talk to you, man. And then
About to go to
Suga let us know that he wears zero drop zero shoes because he's nuts. And then
Zero
he
drop, zero shoes.
like the zero shoes, the company.
Yeah, it's like the toe. Is that the one with the toes? Or is
They
that
have
just
they have all kinds of different shoes now. They have
oh,
regular trail runners. They have they started out with sandals, I believe. It's zero drop sandals.
Okay. I thought that they were the toe shoes, and I was like, by default, wouldn't those be zero drop regardless if they're toe shoes?
If they're
Like,
toe shoes, probably, yeah.
I can't imagine a toe shoe with a heel. That would
Yeah.
be, well, I could imagine it. It'd be ridiculous.
Oh, and then this one, here's the new one. Crawling Blind, another name I've not seen on here before. Topo for the wide toe box win. Very happy with them. That I will tell you, I know a lot of people that like Topo. I know a lot of people that like Topo. It didn't work for me. That doesn't mean it doesn't work for other people. I have really strange feet, so it's no shock that they didn't work for me. But I'm sure other people love them. So, all right,
Uh,
we got another story we want to talk about, Jeremiah.
Yeah, but before we do, on this bracket, I don't know if you wanna put it back up there or not
Yeah,
for
throw it
the
back up right
people
now.
watching, but, on this bracket, do I don't wanna influence other people's decisions here. They probably don't really care about our opinion, but, do we wanna make our picks on this? How you wanna do this?
I think it'd be a good idea if you and I went for our picks real quick.
Alright, alright.
So, round 1, Solomon versus Brooks, who are you going with?
I gotta go with Solomon.
I'm gonna go with Brooks because Solomons are too narrow for my feet.
Okay.
So,
On the
okay. So
Hoka
we got one
Topo,
for each. Hoka versus Topo. I think I know where we're both going on this one.
yeah, Hoka all the way, baby. The
Hoka,
five
100%.
5 seed upsets.
Yep. La Sportiva versus Ultra.
For backpacking, me, the Ultra. If I'm mountaineering, La Sportiva. But since this is the backpacking podcast, I'm going to go ahead the 6 seed of Ultra.
Ooh, the 6 seed of Ultra. Ultra screwed me up, so I'm just biased against them. So I'm going with La Sportiva. Just being,
That's how
I can't. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna make anything up here. That's what I'm going with. And then we've got the final match of the night, which is Scarpa versus Merrill.
Yeah, I think Merrill, it's super, super popular. Scarpa, I'm not even that familiar with, honestly. I'd have to look and see what they're rocking. But the Merrill Moabs, that is like one of the most popular shoes that, well, I don't know about now, but 5 years ago, that was on trail all day, every day.
They're still out there. I mean, I know doctors. That's what they wear daily. Are Merrills, and so I'm also going to go Merrill on that one. I think everybody who backpacks at some point owns a pair of Merrill Moabs.
Yeah, and the Merrill, I've tried their other shoes; they're fine too. But even their waterproof boots, yeah, rock those, no
Yeah.
issue.
Well, and they do. They actually do trail runners now too. So I've not yet tried them, but if they're as good as their hiking shoes were, I wore Merrells all the way up Kilimanjaro. The only day I didn't wear Merrells was on the final day when we were hiking through snow and then coming down a mountainside where there was a lot of scree that could get into your shoes and stuff. So I think um, Merrill does a great job. Jacob Poucher disagrees with me. He says Merrill is some of the narrowest toe boxes. No idea why they're so popular.
Yeah, they come to think of it, their boot that I have was a pretty narrow toe box, and I need to throw them away, I guess. Toe box is a little too narrow, and I don't know how long it takes, but the waterproofing on those run out. And you know how I know?
Because yours ran
I
out.
got
But
wet. Yeah.
you know what? That's on every shoe though. Like you're not gonna. No shoe if you use them enough is gonna stay waterproof. I don't think there's a single one out there that will. And I always get the Moab Vents if I'm gonna buy a pair of those. The ones that are not waterproof.
Yeah, but you can spray the waterproof stuff. I would assume that it would help re-waterproof it, but it's never
Yeah.
going to be as good as the original.
No.
Like, well, I don't even know how they do that. Some kind of like in between layer or something.
What was the raincoat a few years ago that everybody had? It was Outdoor Research. The
The
helium
helium.
that thing for me, I got one of those, and within 2 storms, that thing was wetted out, destroyed a phone. Oh man, that jacket was terrible for me. And then I started reading and finding that more people were having that same issue with it. So just there's always that one thing that's really popular that people um, maybe isn't as good as everybody thinks. It just gets popular somehow. Maybe that's the
Jason,
Moab.
Jason turned me on to the Outdoor Research Helium, and he had the original, and then they come out with the two.
Yeah.
And I think that Mrs. Backpacking got him the two for Christmas because they literally stopped making the one. He's like, "What is this? It doesn't have pockets anymore." It has like if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, it's got the pocket like here on the chest, but they took away the two hand pockets on the waist. And
And it seems
I
like
mean,
the one he wears all the time now is the North Face. He's got a North Face raincoat. Seems like that's the one he always wears now.
yep, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Which, oddly enough, that's what I have now too. I have a North Face raincoat that I use.
Well, I know you don't like it, but I still have my Patagonia torrent shell.
I've
That
got one.
is,
The only thing I didn't like about it, mine wouldn't necessarily leak, but it was heavy and it got really hot. And so I would just sweat as much as I'd get wet on the outside. So most of the time now, if it's not cold, I'll just take an umbrella. So
well, I take both, but honestly, dude, I took Outdoor Vitals, and I'm not just saying this because they're a sponsor, but their rain jacket, I took it on the entire Camino, and that was like my like morning layer. You know, you first get on trail and you're like,
Yeah.
it's too hot for a jacket, but it's too cold to not have something on, like a windbreaker or something. And that thing is so light and thin and holds up, especially paired with the umbrella. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I agree with you on that. I will say though, the 2 shot rain jacket from Outdoor Vitals is a beast.
yeah, yeah, it
I
is beastly.
really like that one a lot. It's as far as the weight and everything goes on it, it's phenomenal. Stone Ape Adventures is chiming in on something that he thinks is junk. Is the Nightcore battery bank everyone's still shilling, and it's junk.
We've been saying that since day one,
We've
baby.
we've had you and I have said that for a while now. Definitely have
Yeah.
said that. John Groover, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, I love seeing John Groover's Good Morning whenever
Yep.
we typically will release the show at 6 a.m., but it's nice to have him live and in the flesh. I hope you're doing well, John.
I say the same. I hope you're doing well. So let's move on to another news story real quick. This is
Oh,
one that you brought to my attention last week. Which, by the way, we missed you last week,
oh,
and
thank
I'm glad to hear your grandfather's doing better. So
yeah, he's doing well. I appreciate you holding the reins there on the show, and it's great to be back.
yeah, it's good to have you back. But you had this great story for us to talk about, and I want to put this up on the screen so people can see it. But the Forest Service plans prescribe burns for Daniel Boone National Forest this spring. This is from LEX 18 here in Lexington, Kentucky. Um, oh, here we go. I'm going to throw this up there. This is a great one. This is a deep dive. Ask the Shill brothers about the OR helium jacket. They hate it. I'm with them. Hate it. So, okay, so basically what's happening is people are taking a look at all these fires that are happening out in California,
Not
and they're
just
realizing,
California now either.
well, yeah,
There,
like Oregon, Washington, there's a lot
at
of them
work
going on.
in Texas, I think maybe there was
Texas
another
had some,
state.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe even more, I can't remember, but go ahead, sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Just with all these fires that are going on, the National Forest Service is going through the different national forests, and they're doing prescribed burns to get rid of underbrush so that there's not leftover leaves and stuff. So that if something was to catch fire, it wouldn't be as catastrophic as what we've seen with a lot of the other places. Um, I'll read what it says here in the article, and we can kind of talk about it a little bit. It says
Sure.
prescribed burns are low intensity fires set by trained professionals to reduce hazardous fuels, restore wildlife habitat, and improve the forest's overall health. Excess fuels such as vegetation and dead wood allow wildfires to burn hotter and hotter. These burns help mitigate the risk of extreme wildfires for both the forest and surrounding communities, according to a release from the Forest Service. All burns are planned thoroughly to make sure that the fisheries, wildlife, rare plants, and historic sites are not harmed. The release adds experienced fire managers will closely monitor local weather conditions such as wind and humidity and adjust the schedule as needed prior to ensure the safety of both crew members and local residents. Prior to the planned ignition of a burn, crews construct and designate fire breaks to ensure the fire does not leave the burn area. And they're getting ready to do this in some different areas throughout the Daniel Boone National Forest, and you can actually go online and it'll show you a map of where those places are.
Yeah, dude, we've seen the devastation, especially around Red River Gorge. I know we talk about that place a lot on this podcast, but it is a gem close to
It
where we
is.
live. We spend a lot of time there. But just for reference, man, like I've seen multiple forest fires up there around the, not to be too specific, but Tar Ridge area, and I think that is one of the areas specifically that they're targeting for the controlled burns.
It is. It
I,
is. I'm actually going to bring up the map here so you can kind of see where all of that is going to be. Let me see if I can get this zoomed in really well here. Let me go ahead and pull this up so you can take a look at this. But you can see where the different areas are where they're doing it. And there's Tar Ridge, just up from the middle a little bit. You've got Tar Ridge as an area there. South of Haystack Rock, they're going to be getting Tunnel Ridge Road, an area just outside Tunnel Ridge Road, and Gray's Arch is going to be taken too, as well as an area just next to the Clifty Wilderness.
yeah,
So
and I was listening to you read that article, and I feel like if I am just a resident somewhere and I got a national forest nearby, anywhere in the U.S., and they're going to be doing controlled burns, my go-to questions, I feel like that article answers a lot.
Yeah.
You know, specifically, I'd want to know, how do you keep the fire from continuing to spread? Because it's been my understanding that typically the way it works, if you're doing a controlled fire or you're trying to control a forest fire, like contain it, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, and John, correct me if I'm wrong, if you have knowledge on this too. I'm a little bit ignorant to the fact, but I think that they basically just create a line, a fire break line, where they've, for lack of better terms, shoveled and raked the debris apart so that the fire can't hop over. But what's happened is sometimes there's high winds, which you said they're addressing in the article.
Yeah.
They can reschedule and move, but there's high winds, and sometimes the fire gets across that fire break,
Right.
and uh, and then continues to spread, and then it gets uncontrollable.
Yeah, and what they try to do too is they don't do like you're seeing that map and those are large areas. They're not burning that whole thing at one time. You know, that
Okay.
it's not like they're going to burn like 800 acres at once. You know, they're
Yeah.
hitting one spot, they're going to hit a little spot of it, then they're going to go to the next spot, hit a little bit of that, and they'll probably have guys standing outside of the fire line with some form of extinguisher to put the fires out if they get a little crazy. But they usually will just do a small amount at a time. This will probably take most of the year to get those spots done. Would be my guess. I don't imagine they're going to do those in the span of like 2 weeks.
Now I wonder, just brainstorming here. I wonder if it'd be a good show to sometime have either a fire marshal or higher up in some of those crews on the show and talk to them for a while, even if it's for like 20 and 30 minutes, and ask them some of these questions of basically telling us how it works. Cause I'd be really interested to see, and y'all can
Yeah,
share in the comments if you think it's interesting too. You might not care, but I think it'd be interesting to hear exactly from the horse's mouth what that looks like. Because I've been places. We went over, I think, to Cumberland Gap area, and there was a fire crew, and had driven all the way from like Colorado or Arizona or something. And I was like, "What are y'all doing here?" And they're like, "Well, those fires that you drove past on the way here, literally the side of the road was on fire on your left as you drove in." I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, those are about out, but we've been here working." I guess they pay those guys. Seems like a pretty good gig. They pay those guys drive miles and
okay.
put them up in a hotel here and feed them and basically let them help us tamp down fire wherever they may be. At the time, it's Cumberland Gap, but of course, it could be anywhere. I've seen it in Georgia too when we were headed down to that trip. But yeah, you just have these random crews that get brought in from different states to help out. Kind of like
Yeah.
reinforcement.
Well, and honestly, I'm trying to look up the Daniel Boone National Forest, see if they have an Instagram. They don't, so I'm gonna have to go to Facebook. But they these guys who do this, they have a dangerous job. And I don't think sometimes people realize just how dangerous their work is. These guys who drop in on these forest fires, um,
Hmm.
that is some of the most dangerous work in the world. Um, and really, when you say being like dropped into the fire, they literally are dropped into fire, and their job is to put that fire out. And what's sad is they're extremely undermanned. They're definitely in need of more people to do that, and a lot of times the guys who do that stuff are volunteers. So it's
I was
it's
just
crazy.
I was just googling this because I thought I was right. I don't know if he volunteers or gets paid or how that works, but David Goggins, you heard of David Goggins? Stay
Yes,
hard.
yes,
Yeah. One of the toughest men I've I've ever seen, but he works as a wildland firefighter in British Columbia during the summer. I thought so. This man is so insane. He's just literally just trying to find things that are insanely challenging. So in his spare time, he just jumps out of helicopters into fires.
yep. Okay, so here's an example. I'm going to pull this up on the screen so you can see it. This is what we were talking about just a second ago. Let me see here if I can get this up on so you can see it. Um, right here, Daniel Boone National Forest, professional firefighters. with the Stearns Ranger District are conducting a prescribed burn at Big Swag Hella Base north of Parker's Lake in McCreary County today. This burn will reduce forest fuel levels on approximately 5 acres. So they're
Okay.
literally just doing 5 acres. You get what I'm saying? They're not massive, huge tracts of land that they're doing this on. Here's another one. Not a tunnel will be closed this Thursday. That, like, if you want to find out what's going on, with the Daniel Boone National Forest or any of the national forests, they have places where you can go and see these. Here's another prescribed burn that was happening at Laurel River Lake. It's a really cool thing that these guys are doing, and quite honestly, we got to support these guys as much as we can, because they're probably saving homes, they're probably saving people's land, they're saving wildlife, because when we don't have forest fires, that means those things aren't being destroyed by forest fires.
Yeah, Jacob Poucher said they're called smoke jumpers. Those guys that David Goggins, for example.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. And let's see what else we got going on here.
Checking out the comments on there.
I am. It says Stone Ape says Unwari and Shining Rock Wilderness are burning this week. So this is happening all over the United States right now. You're getting people saying great idea. Devin says great idea. And then Brian Wilburn just jumped on and said howdy. Here's a good one. Backcountry exposure. It says here in the Uintas, crews have been piling down trees and brush through popular areas of the forest and burning the piles through the winter. Huge piles of, and it just kind of stops. So he's probably finishing up the rest of it. But it's so important that this stuff is happening. It's sad what has happened to places like California and the people that have lost homes, and places in Oregon and Washington and Texas. And we don't want to see that anywhere else. And so it's really good that these guys are getting out there and taking care of that stuff.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I mean, you could look online and see the devastation. Like, I mean, we're all just people. You know, you have a life, I have a life, we all do. And, you know, your day to day might look different, but you live somewhere probably if you're watching this stream. And just imagine as long as you make it out of there, you come back, your house is just gone. And I think I'm a little bit uninformed here, like I said, but I think in California, they're looking at maybe rezoning some of those areas that were just devastated by fire. I assume what happens is a lot of people have fire insurance, or some of them, the coverage gets waived. And then they come back and insurance company doesn't have all that money at once. So then whenever people are applying for it, there's either huge lag in the time that you can start construction, get everything clean. You're talking about years. If it even happens in, at all, that might put some of those insurance companies out of business. I don't know. But I just know that if they do rezone them, then, it's going to take away, you have that property, and then the government's like, not anymore.
Yeah.
And they might pay you for it, but still you're having to start over, whether you like it, whether you want to get political or whatever. It literally takes your entire life and just changes the railroad tracks you're on. And, I hurt for those people. That I can't imagine.
Well, and honestly, and this is, I could get on a soapbox about this, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be good. I am so frustrated by just insurance companies in general.
Here
I'm just gonna say, I mean, we're not sponsored by an insurance company, and we're not losing any money doing this, but let's just be honest. It's disgusting how insurance companies decide what's considered safe and not safe, what's considered medication you need to take and not take, what your health is like. They're telling the doctors what they're allowed to do. And in this case, there were a lot of people in California who had their fire insurance taken away because of where they lived, just a month or two before those fires hit in California.
How serendipitous.
And it's one of these things of, then why have insurance? If you live in an area where there's going to be fires, of course you want insurance. There we go. I got one coming on with me here. 100% scam. Absolutely. Thank you, Devin. 100% scam. Insurance just drives me nuts. It feels like the modern day mafia, if I'm just being honest with you. It feels like the modern day mafia. My wife used to work in insurance, and the day that she stopped working in insurance, I was so happy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a complicated thing because you got insurance on everything, any type of property that you have, and you have medical insurance, and then all kinds of other insurance like burial insurance or identity protection insurance. There's a bunch of different ones. You know, I teach a finance class and we go through some of them,
Yeah.
and some of them literally are a scam. You know, like especially I don't want to get on a soapbox either, but some of these like cash express places, you know, you
Oh
have
man,
low
yeah.
socioeconomic status people, they go in there, they borrow money, they're super high fees and they're super high percentage of interest rates. And then they tack on like these insurances, like a life insurance policy that you never even asked for, but they tack it on as part of it, and then you give them an extra $8, and then they get a kickback from it. You know, for months and months and months that you're paying on it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I won't get on the soapbox either, but I'm with you, man. Some of them are a total scam.
Yeah, and I just hate it for people that, like I said, like in North Carolina, people had their flood insurance taken away because there'd been no proof of a flood in 100 years, so there was no reason to have it. And then the flood came through and destroyed Asheville, you know? And
Yeah,
yeah,
insurance for a reason, man.
yep,
That's the name of the game. Is that's your last, you know, your last resort.
it
You
is.
know, but
Hey, Andy
with,
Ackerman, thank you so much for the super chat. And Andy wanted to let us know he lives everywhere. So he
well,
must
you
be a
live in our
traveling
heart.
man. Must be a traveling man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the Pizza Ninja said he'll sell us pizza insurance. Doesn't
Well,
doesn't Domino's already do that? Don't they have pizza insurance? Like if your pizza
I
goes
think.
bad, you get a free one or something? Like if they drop
Oh,
your pizza or something. I think they actually have that.
I think that's just a courteous thing to do.
I think Pizza Ninja's trying to scam us is what I think. I think he's scamming us. I think that's what he's doing. And then Devin says, like when you book a flight in a hotel. Yes.
Yeah, true that.
Yep.
Okay, there's something else I was wanting to talk to you about. Is there anything else you're wanting to say about the fires before I ask you for
No,
some help?
I just think it's really interesting what's going on, and I'm glad to see that it's happening, and I'm glad to see that it's happening all over the United States right now, and not just here in Kentucky.
Yeah, you're talking about the controlled burns to
Yes.
prevent the future forest fires.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, another thing I was wanting to talk to you about is I had multiple options for a trip I'm wanting to take this weekend, and I'll fill you in a little bit of the context. So Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir. We've talked about him a few times in this episode, and you may see him soon on the show. I don't know. But he broke his ankle and had surgery and has had this long recovery and is just now taking a what I would consider a big trip for him. You know, he is going out. I think he started Wednesday and he's going to finish Sunday or Monday, something like that. So I'm going to try to get out there. It's hard for me to get away because of the baby, you know, for a bunch of days in a row, but I'm going to try to at least get out there for one night. He's out there, him and at least two or three other buddies, depending on who comes and leaves when. And if they're going to be out there for multiple days, so let's say Wednesday to Saturday, they're having to pack all their food. They're doing this long trail and they're putting in 10 to 15 miles every day. So hoping his ankle holds up. And I'm going to be out there and I'm thinking I want to surprise these guys with a little something out of the blue. So
Oreo balls.
you think I should go with
Come
the
on,
Oreo?
man. Come on, man. Okay, so people who maybe hadn't listened in the past, um, literally, uh, Jeremiah, we did a trip just a few weeks ago. We did
Mhm.
a an off-roading trip, and you brought these homemade Oreo balls, and they were everybody's favorite. And you've brought them on trips before, and they never cease to amaze. I say if you bring some Oreo balls with you, you will become everybody's favorite person on that trip.
I think that could possibly work. I think that's one option. You do have to keep in mind whatever I take, and I brought a lot of Oreo balls on that off-roading trip. I didn't have to carry them though. This trip, I'm going to have to carry, we'll say 10 to 20 miles. That this stuff is going to have to go along for the ride.
So are you
So,
showing up the night before and just meeting them at a campsite? Or are you going to be hiking, just showing up in the morning and hiking all day and then camping out with them?
well, I have multiple options. Okay, the option I think I'll go with is don't hate me for this. I think I'm going to drag my wife and child out with me in the morning. We're going to leave the house
Have them
really
drop
early.
you off.
Well, I have to take my truck too because I think some of the guys are going to need a shuttle back to their vehicles
Right,
because
right.
I got to park them somewhere. So they have some intermittently shuttled throughout. It's a complicated situation because multiple guys are showing up at different days. So I think what I'm going to do is have my wife to follow me. I'll leave my truck where I can leave from early the day I get out. I think I'll go Saturday, leave Sunday, get out early Sunday morning. I think I'll get there super early Saturday. I'll ride with her to where she drops me off. And those guys are allegedly camping like a half mile to a mile from where I'll be dropped off from. I do have a problem though. The water's really up, and the shortest distance is literally like across the river, but
Yeah.
there's no bridge. Normally, you could just cross there,
Mm-hmm.
but with how much rain we've gotten in the last
And we're
week,
getting rain this week too.
yes, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I got to go after we get off this. I got to go strip all the silicone from around the windows and recaulk them all.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, say a prayer for me, man, because some of these windows are like, I mean, you've been to the house, like the highest window is like 30, 40 feet in the
Oh no,
air.
you haven't seen my house yet. We're right there with you, man. Right there
Yeah,
with you. I get
these
it.
are, and there's wind gusts, and I digress.
Yeah.
So back to it. So I'm thinking I'm going to have my wife to drive down in the dark this old long either dirt or gravel road in the car
Right,
and
right.
drop me off with our 8-month-old and then safely make it back. But
Here's the thing: the 8-month-old will probably sleep the entire time.
oh, I bet you're right.
I mean, seriously, bumpy roads with little kids is like rocking them in their seat. It does not keep them awake.
Well, I got good news. He's going to be with my wife the entire time. So yeah. So anyway, I think if I bring the guys something heavy, I have to give it to them right at the beginning. That's what I think.
That's why I'm suggesting you go the night before. If it's only a half mile in, you could have your wife drive you in the light,
Yeah, that's true.
and then
That's
you don't have to worry about that. And then you get to be out there at the campfire that night with the guys. Of course, you do get to sleep in your bed the other way. So there's positives on both sides of this. But then you could come in and they just got done hiking, they're exhausted, and you show up with Oreo balls.
Well, there's one idea that I think I've nailed it, dude.
Oh, get it, get it. What is it?
So Blue Star drinks a Red Bull, usually 2 Red Bulls every single day, and I think he's going to go out there Thursday.
Good
So
night.
he usually I learned my food taking from him on these short trips. He just takes whatever's in the fridge, He might make burritos out there. He might take whole tomatoes. He's going to have bananas and all this stuff. And he also takes these Red Bulls, literally like one for every day. But I think he's going to abstain from the Red Bulls because it's so many miles. And these guys are going to be, usually they walk like, half a mile an hour, 1 mile an hour. It's pretty slow slogging, but they're going to have to pick up the pace. So he's going to leave the Red Bulls at home. And I know exactly his favorite. So I think I'm going to take him at least 1 Red Bull. What I could do is take him 2 and not give him the second one till the second day and surprise him. So I think that would be a perfect surprise for him. One of the guys is on the carnivore diet, so he won't eat the Oreo balls. So what are you thinking on him? What I don't think you know him, but do you have any other ideas that would be a good fit? Because for those that don't know, carnivore diet means you basically just eat meat and like fats and cheeses and that kind of stuff. So
Man, I don't know if you got any bags of those carnivore snacks, but man, those things are awesome.
Well, I think he's already going to have that stuff. So I want to think outside, something outside the box here. What
neat. If it's, oh, you know what you could do?
What's that?
Bring some of that pre-cooked bacon.
Oh yeah,
bring some pre-cooked bacon with you. Anybody who brings bacon on a backpacking trip is everybody's favorite person.
Oh, that's a trail favorite.
Yeah, by a long shot.
Anything homemade, even especially Oreo balls, I think Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, would just eat those right up. If y'all have ideas in the comments, I would love to hear them. What would be a good surprise to bring out to your friends in the woods. They've been out there for multiple days. They've been slogging out the
Ooh,
miles. They're through hiking, and you're showing up in the middle of it, and you're like, surprise.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to do it or not. But if somehow
Okay.
you could get some pulled pork and some buns and a little bit of barbecue sauce and bring that out and let the guys have pulled pork sandwiches with barbecue sauce.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
man, come on now. That sounds good.
Now these are good ideas. I see sausage balls. I see bacon jerky,
Yeah,
pre-cooked
Scotch
bacon.
eggs. Scotch eggs
Good.
are good.
Scotch eggs. How do you make those?
So okay, so a Scotch egg. We'll start here. We'll get through these real quick. So we got the pre-cooked bacon, which I was talking about. We've got sausage balls. We've got bacon jerky, a rotisserie chicken. That
Yeah.
that could be good. Stone Ape Adventures take a pizza. Um, let's see, chitlins is another one. Now let's go back to the Scotch egg for a second because a Scotch egg is really good. Basically, what a Scotch egg is you soft boil an egg. Okay.
Mhm.
Or you can hard boil if you want to. Soft boil seems to be better. Unless you just don't like runny yolks, but I'm kind of on the runny yolk side. So soft boil an egg, then you wrap it either in, typically you'd wrap it in sausage. So you take that thing, then you take a bunch of sausage, wrap it around the outside of it,
Mhm.
put it in some breadcrumbs, and then fry it. Or you can bake it in the oven, one or the other. It's so good, man. It's a British thing, but they are really good.
I've
Really good.
never had it, I don't think.
Oh, here's one. Pepperoni flavored combos. Those
Pepperoni
are,
flavored combos.
you never had those?
Is that the
They're
little
good.
like pretzel that's injected with the
Fake cheese?
yeah, I don't know really
Yeah,
what's in
dude.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something fake, I think, but sounds like a good trail snack.
It's good. I like them. Let's see. We got the Pizza Ninja. Pickle pizza.
Pickle pizza.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
almost threw up on my microphone just now.
and that was the
Um,
sound of John vomiting every
Taco Bell backpacks well.
Dude, they just built a Taco Bell near my house, and I haven't had Taco Bell in years.
Oh, you
Should
got
I go?
Taco John's too, don't you? You've got Taco Bell and Taco John's.
No, the Taco John's closed down, man.
Did it? Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I like
You know
Taco
what they put
John's.
in?
What?
Uh, is it Gold Star chili or 5-star chili?
Ooh.
I think it's what one of maybe
Is
it's
it Gold
5-star.
Star or Skyline?
No, it's not Skyline, it's
So
for
it's
sure
Gold
not
Star.
Skyline.
It's Gold Star then.
Yeah, Gold Star. Yeah, that's what they put into Taco John. Would have
That's not
preferred the
bad.
Taco John's, honestly.
Yeah? You're not a big Cincinnati chili guy?
Well, we already had the 5-star. They just moved locations. I was like, "Bro, just keep it next to the Baskin Robbins. Let us live with the Taco John's." But
Yeah.
guess I wasn't eating there often enough because it went out.
So we've got the answer is cake.
Oh, yeah, that'd be easy.
That'd be good. The cracker combos are better than the pretzel combos. Ooh. We've got a battle going on about combos now. This should be fun. Hey, and real quick, we're gonna put that poll back up, the bracket, just to let you guys see the different shoes that we're voting on. Make sure you look at that if you just got in here, because there's several of you that weren't in here earlier. So make sure you get on there and check that out, and see if who you would vote for in each of those rounds. Leave comments in the comment section so we can next week reveal who made it to the second round of the shoe March Madness for backpacking. Jeremiah.
Oh, we got dehydrated. I'm seeing some dehydrated stuff. I tried dehydrating something for the first
Refried
time
beef.
ever, and it did not go well.
Yeah, if you
Um,
don't know the exact amount of water you need to put in it after, you have to play with it for a while to get it right. I've learned that. Plus, you have to over season.
okay, no, I totally screwed this up, bro. Let me tell you what I did.
Oh, let me hear.
I said I was scrolling through Facebook as one does, and I screenshot chicken wings. That would be a good one. I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw this picture and it said, "Oh, these are great. They're better than Twizzlers." And I said, "I got to check this out." I took a closer look. It said, "Very simple. Take strawberries, you put them in the oven at 260 for 4 hours." And I said,
What?
"Okay, that sounds pretty easy." So what did I do? I
No.
went to Kroger. I got me a package, like a pound of strawberries. I cut off the whatever the green part is. I don't know what that's called. And then I put them on a baking sheet and I stuck them in the oven for 4 hours. And you know
4
what?
hours at 260?
I think that was it. No, maybe it's 210.
Okay,
I
that's a
think it's
little bit
210.
better. Man.
I think it's 210. I have the picture out on my phone. And I got those suckers out, and the part that was touching the baking sheet was totally black. Everything was all soggy and wet. They didn't dry out at all. I tried one of those. I said, "Ugh, this isn't great." I said, "You got to try one of these." She spit it out.
That is not right. Whoever did that, that was just so wrong. I mean,
Well, I was talking with Woodall Trails. Him and his wife came over, and we had like a little game night and hung out for a while. And we played some games, and my wife and I were talking with them. We were sitting around the table and eating some snacks. And I said, I tried to dehydrate these strawberries and they didn't turn out well. And I told them how I done it. And they said, that's totally wrong. First of all, your temperature's way too high.
way too
And
high.
second of all, they said, how thinly did you slice the strawberries? And I said, not at all.
You didn't slice them.
Only thing I done was cut off the tops. And I know. And so
I
they
didn't know
said,
that part. I just assumed you'd slice them.
no, they said, dude, you need to slice those like 1/8 of an inch thick and lay those all out flat and then flip them over halfway through at a very low temperature. They're like maybe like 150 or 160. I said, okay. I tried it again. It went much better. I maybe sliced them too thin. I had strawberry chips the next time instead
Yeah.
of like.
Well, that's typically what you get when you dehydrate strawberries. You get kind of like little strawberry chips, like banana chips or something like that. They're good though.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I wouldn't do it again, but you know, but that's my intro to dehydrating.
Now,
It didn't go well.
now, you know what you can do is you can take a bunch of strawberries and other fruits and you can put them in like a food processor. So
Mhm.
they kind of like form like a gel. Put that on a tray in a dehydrator and let that go for a while and you can basically make fruit roll-ups.
Yeah, I should do that. I should really get me one of those $50, $60 dehydrators at Walmart at least, because I don't
Yeah.
know how much electric I'm using running the oven for 4 hours, but eventually it's going to add up.
Yeah, I've got a dehydrator and it works really well. I mean, it's not a super expensive one and it gets the job done. So, it's pretty good.
You you know, oh, I can't remember their YouTube channel now. Um, Outdoor something. Anyway, they're doing more homestead videos now.
Are you talking about Tony?
Yeah, Tony and Melissa, but I can't
Yeah.
remember their backpacking channel. Anyway, I watched them a long time ago, some of their food videos, and they were dehydrating cake. And I said, now this I can get behind. And it
Yeah.
basically turned it into, it looked like if you dropped it though, it would just turn into powdered sugar. But if you don't drop it, it looked pretty good. It looked like some crunchy, delicious cake.
Yeah.
Don't know if
Yeah.
it travels well though. Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's someday I'm gonna own a freeze dryer, but I just can't afford it right now. They're just so dang expensive. But someday I will have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
I
those
will
are
have one.
thousands.
Well, Jeremiah, it is that time. We have been on here for almost an hour. Do you have anything else that you would like to discuss before we close this thing out today?
I do have one more thing I was wanting to talk about, and I want to give a shout out to Jeff Garmeyer. Jeff Garmeyer is one of the greatest guests to ever grace us with his presence.
Yes, he is.
He did recently email us awesome guest idea. We'll leave that as a surprise at the moment, but we should have him back on the show soon. I was thinking about him. I follow him on Instagram, and if you don't, you need to follow Legend. Jeff Garmeyer, if you just look, I can't remember the name of his book. While I'm talking, will you look up the name of his book?
Yes, I'll look it up right now.
So he, big time Barkley Marathon guy, and I was looking
The free outside. The free outside.
The free outside, yeah. So if you're looking for a good read, check out the free outside and see some of his adventures when it comes to backpacking. But anyway, the Barkley Marathon, he's a big Barkley Marathon guy, and if you want to hear more about that, you can listen to the last episode we had him on, I believe. And they are literally doing the Barkley Marathon. We're recording this on March 19th. The Barkley Marathon, I believe, started this morning at like 11:30. And the way they started is blowing a conch shell. I think the guy that started it smokes a cigarette and then blows a conch shell. And You basically have to run, and they tell you a page in a book that you have to tear out in these hidden books according to your bib number, and then you make multiple laps. And it happens at Frozen Head State Park or Forest. It's like is it West Virginia or North Carolina, Eastern Kentucky? It's somewhere around that area. I can't remember exactly, but Frozen Head, you can Google it. And these are just insane people. So I thought it'd be fun for me to check real quick and see if I can figure
I
out.
can tell you who the last 3 are that are still going.
Okay, so just to set the stage here, last year they had 5 people finish, and that was a record-setting year. Multiple years in a row, they've had nobody finish. You have no idea how challenging this is. So they said it was too easy last year. And you got to think these guys and girls are running through, these giant thorn patches like briars. They're running up huge mountains. And they said, we're going to move the date. We're going to move it into March because we hope the weather will be colder, wetter, nastier, boggier. And I think the high today was 71 and it was sunny and it started at 11:30. And sometimes it starts at 3 a.m. Who do they have still on the trail, still going?
There are only 3 left that they know of. That's literally what it says. Who's left that we know of? I'm not going to show the picture yet because there's something pretty awesome about this group. There's a person from Japan, a person from the U.S., and a person from France. So you've got Tomokazu Ihara, who's on loop 3. Who's obviously from Japan. He's not the French guy. You've got Sebastian Reichschon, which is the French guy. And Jeremiah, I'm just going to let you read who else is on the loop right now.
Okay, what do you got here?
Let's see if it shows. Oh, it's not showing. Why isn't it showing? Oh,
I don't know.
No. That's terrible. I hate it when it does that.
It's on-air production.
This is not good. There it is right there. What does it say in that middle name?
From the U.S. on loop 3, a Mr. John Kelly. You can't make it up.
I can't make this up. That is for real. That is for real. The third guy who's from the U.S., his name is John Kelly. We have to have him on the podcast.
Yes, we will reach out to him.
We have to have him on the podcast.
We're rooting him on. I cannot believe it. That is insane, bro.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked when I read that. I was like, wait a second, that's not real. And then I find out that he's actually won it before. He's actually beat the marathon before. So yeah, so that's who's in it right now. And John Kelly is killing it. So hopefully he makes the whole thing.
Yeah, that would be incredible. I don't know how many people they have to repeat win, but I know it's insane to even finish in the first. There's not really a winner. It's more like you just survived death.
And they run through briars and stuff. Like by the time they're done, every single person who runs that is covered in blood, is probably sick as a dog,
dirty,
wore out, dirty, covered in mud. Like it's just the most insane thing. And I think it's hilarious that the guy who runs it is out of shape and smokes a cigarette while they're all doing it.
As it should be.
As it should be. And with that, thank you guys for tuning into the Backpacking Podcast. Oh, one quick thing, Jeremiah.
Yes.
Before we get done, we do need to know, who did you pick to win the NCAA tournament this year?
Oh, actually, I'm filling out my bracket tonight, believe it or not.
Okay. And who are you going with?
I think I'm going to have to go, as much as it pains me to say, the University of Florida.
Ooh,
Go Gators.
The University of Florida. I put some color behind me here. Do you know what color that is, Jeremiah?
Oh, that looks like a blue color.
So do you know who I'm going with?
Who you going with?
Take a wild guess.
University of Kentucky?
No, I'm going with the Duke Blue Devils.
No,
yes.
No.
Go Blue Devils. And with that said, thank you guys for tuning into the Backpacking Podcast. We will catch you on the next one.
Oh, no.